My name is Brandon Garza. I graduated from Harlingen High School in 2014. After that, I was a walk-on at the University of Houston, then went to the UTSA and ended up earning a scholarship after my sophomore year. And that's kind of been my path so far, man. Yeah, man, I mean, my high school career was it's ups and downs, you know. I was a quarterback that had big dreams and didn't fit the mold of everyone. You know, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the tallest, but my heart was always pure. My heart was always goal-driven. And, you know, throughout my high school career, you learn this ups and downs, you know. And I chased a Division I dream. People said I couldn't do it, but I believed, so I did it. I chased to break school records at Harlingen High School. People say I couldn't do it, but I did it because that's what I believed in, you know. And it was those things that I was a walk-on at UTSA and Houston. People said I couldn't earn a scholarship, but I did it because that was always my goal. And no matter the adversity or the success, nothing changed what my goal was. So why I'm here today is because when I was in 6th grade, I wrote down my goals to be an NFL quarterback. And throughout my process, I've allowed people's opinions, people's doubts, devalue my own self in a sense. And I allowed them to make me think I wasn't good enough, you know. And although I continued to thrive through adversity, I wasn't always this Brandon Garza, you know. And so about a month ago, God came into my heart and said, follow your dream, son. This is what you're meant to do on this earth. No matter what people have said you couldn't do, this is what I put you on here for. And for me, whatever comes with it, you know, money, fame. I don't care about all those things. I care about living out God's purpose for me in this life. And most importantly, to inspire individuals to follow their dreams, because they're going to look at Brandon Garza and what I'm about to do, and they're going to say, if he can do it, I can do it too. For me, let me explain expectation, man. For me, you shouldn't meet anyone else's expectations but yourself. Because when you start to work towards someone else's agenda, you forget your own personal goals. So for me, I set my own expectations, everything I do. Sure, someone can give me advice, but in the back of my mind, I know exactly what I want to do and what I need to do it, no matter what comes with it. Kevin Ledesma, Randy Bermea, Daniel Ramirez, Nathan Prado, those are legends, man. Legends in the city of Harlingen, and what they did inspired so many people, man, and in a sense inspired me as well to be a part of that team and to see those guys do what people say they couldn't do, you know. And for sure, all those guys, that whole team is legendary. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about all the facts of all those things. I mean, whether I was the first or not, it doesn't matter. I was invited and I chased it because I felt like that was where the elite go. And I wanted to do what people down here don't believe they can do, and that's be elite and to leave this area and to be someone. Because everyone from this area, not to talk down on it, but everyone tries to stop people from achieving their goals just because they don't believe that, you know? And so everyone down here is like, oh, he wants to do this, he's not good. He wants to do, he's not. How about you get out of your own doubts? Get out of your own doubts of people and start thinking of the positive. If you don't believe in it, okay, what does that have to do with you? You know, and for me, a lot of people waste so much energy on putting in doubt and hatred, man. Whatever you do to hate, no, personally for me, it doesn't affect me anymore. At one point in my time, it did. It doesn't affect me anymore, whether you love or hate me. Put all that negative energy into something you love. Go love your family more instead of hating on a random kid, you know? And it's the things that we need to break out of this mold down here. It was something that it happened early on in my career, man. Early on in my career at Harlingen High School, I was going to be the worst quarterback in Harlingen High School history. Started off my career 0-2, and I felt the pressure of the fans. Now, as a 17-year-old Brandon Garza, of course, I let that get to me. That was tough. I'm not a man I am now. I was a little boy. So, of course, that's tough, and of course, it hurt. Persevered. Of course, you get to the college level, and you're too small, and of course, it hurt, and I let it affect me. Persevered. Of course, you get to UTSA, you're not good enough to start. Of course, I let that affect me. Persevered. Now I'm here. People have idols on earth, right? So, for example, some guys may look up to Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and that's great and all. For me, gain inspiration from them. Don't idolize them of them being bigger than yourself. My idol was the 10-year-old Brandon Garza who he thought he could be in life, which was the NFL quarterback. That Brandon Garza is who I am now. So in a sense, I'm my own idol currently because I'm becoming the man I always knew I could be. Because that 10-year-old Brandon Garza that thought he could be an NFL quarterback, that wasn't just me thinking out loud. That was God placing into my thought process of saying, this is who you want to be, son. This is who you're going to be. Now, it's not going to happen today, next month, next year, but if you trust in me, I'm going to take you there and I'm going to fulfill all your dreams that you've ever had as long as you put me first. It was one of those things, man. I had an opportunity, and one of my high school coach, Manny Gomez, knew the offensive coordinator at the University of Houston, and gave me a shot and believed in me. And it didn't work out as planned, though. I had to go through a very long process. I didn't join the team until 2015 with Tom Herman and that staff with Coach Major Applewhite. Joined as a true walk-on, and from then on, it was the walk-on life. You're this small. You're this small, and as a walk-on, it's hard to continue to go because you're doing all this random stuff. You're running down on kickoff, playing scout team safety, and it's a process, man. And I got to be able to experience something that was amazing and win the Peach Bowl. And then after that, I said I wanted bigger things, so I went to UTSA. And again, walk on, do everything you can to prove yourself, Brandon. No matter how hard it is, do everything you can, earn a scholarship. Earn the scholarship. And like I said, man, everything in my life up to this point was God's plan. Yeah. And it's as hard as it was at times, as good as it was at times, I had to persevere through all of that to become this man I am today. And I'm grateful for my adversity. I'm grateful for the success. I'm grateful for the people that hated and doubted me. And I'm grateful for the people that have shown nothing but love. Because at this point in my life, praise or disapproval really doesn't affect me at all. I feel nothing from praise. I feel nothing from disapproval at this point in my life. I used to. People telling you good, you're great, that makes you feel good. People tell you you suck, then because if you let one thing affect you, you're going to let this affect you as well. So you have to find a balance of saying, don't let it affect you. Each day is a new day. 17-year-old Brandon Garza, junior year, I couldn't have felt smaller in the world because everywhere I went, everyone looked at me in disgust. I had a Facebook page made about me. As a 17-year-old kid, that can hurt you, and it hurt me, man. It hurt me, my family. I remember telling my family, I'm such a failure, I'm sorry. Of course, family, you can never fail us, son. You're going to persevere. And that 17-year-old Brandon Garza, my junior year, at 0-2, I sat in my bedroom and I said, God, no matter how tough this is, I know there'll be a reasoning for it. And I'm here today, man. I'm here today doing things that people said I couldn't do. Now, there was a point in time where I cared about people's disapproval and approval. I'm at this point in my life where it's God first and God only, which means I could never fail people because I can never fail God. So that's the thing, and that's why I use the slogan, fear God. Because if you fear God, that means you allow him to take full control of your life. You don't force anything. You don't let anything affect you positively or negatively. You live life for God. I try to find worth, and I felt my worth in my time was to be the extra coach, because I was always a very cerebral mind, and I knew the game of football. So at that point in time, I would help all my teammates, all my quarterbacks. Hey, brother, come to the sideline. I would be the go-to guy. I traveled every year because I knew all the signals. I could help them in any way. And that was my worth. And my worth at that time was enough to earn a scholarship. And Coach Frank Wilson, great guy, ended up giving me a scholarship. And although at that time they didn't feel like I was good enough to play, again, I allowed my coaches to devalue me. And I'm not disrespecting them at all, but I allowed them not allowing me to play to now think in my mind I wasn't good enough. And again, you go on and God continues to put into my heart, just chase it, man. You are good enough. And I'm going to give you all the power you never thought you could possibly have because you trusted in that word I gave you. Well, here, man, winning the Peach Bowl, beating Florida State, getting a nice ring, that's beautiful. Because as a kid, you dream of having a nice ring on your finger, saying your last name, saying you're Division I BCS champion. That was amazing. Here, man, such an awesome experience. That first year of us going to a bowl game from a school that was barely in existence for not long. We beat Baylor, and experiencing that with a program that really wasn't expected to do those things, that was my best memories there. Instead of reaching for my goal of tomorrow, I've learned to reach for my goal of today, because tomorrow might not come. And so the thing is, if you reach your goal of today, that means you've succeeded, right? No matter what anyone said. If you reach your goal of today, you succeeded. So that's why I always say I've never failed a day in my life. I looked at my losses as lessons. And in doing so, I succeeded because I didn't let something defeat me. But I learned a lesson from it, which in turn made me the better man that I am today. My goal in life was always to inspire. And I wanted to inspire as many kids as possible with being the best possible quarterback they could be, not only on the field, but just an individual, you know? And I think I did that. And man, all the kids that I've impacted continue to impact. They still reach out to me. And I'm still going to do the quarterback academy for sure. Obviously, for right now, it's at a little standstill because I'm chasing the NFL dreams. But of course, all the people that support me understand. And that was the whole goal, man, was to impact and inspire. And every day of my life, that's what I want to do. And at that point in time, God allowed me to do that for individuals. Yeah, so last week, I'll tell you, like I said, I completely given up on my NFL dreams. And I think you should never chase your dreams. You should allow God to place them in your life. And my teammate, Carlos Strickland, he's a big time player, man. He left his junior year early. He's going to enter the draft for us at UTSA. And he's like, man, Brandon, I need you. I need you to throw for me at Pro Day. And I got the text message. I was like, wow, God's saying, you're ready, son. Now you're ready. Now you have gone through all of this in your life. You've learned adversity. You've learned success. You've learned to understand the game, to help others. You've learned to impact and teach the position. Now it's your time. So that's what happened. You look back, but you don't allow yesterday to define today. So when I look back, I learn from my mistakes. I learn from the negatives I did in my life. I learn from all those things, but I don't let it define me today. I don't let none of those things that happened yesterday define me today. I learn lessons, of course. I don't want to be that person I was in that time frame. I don't want to make that mistake again. But I want to meet the Brandon Garza that I need to be today and reach my today's expectation and reach my today's goal so that I can position myself to be ready for tomorrow. Self-improvement each day in anything. Because like I said, if you improve one thing in life today, you improve. And so obviously I'm studying to become the best Brandon Garza and to become the best possible NFL quarterback I can be. So of course I learn and gain inspiration from the pros right now, but I don't look up to them like this because we all bleed the same. For me to idolize and make them think I'm any smaller or not as good as them would be to be defeat of my own self because I'm submitting to them. Why would I ever do that? Sure, Dak, Joe Burrow, all those guys, great quarterbacks. I can gain any type of inspiration from them I want to, but I'm never going to idolize them because when I start to idolize, that means I'm thinking of myself lesser than them. So that's why I use the term fear God because that means everyone on this earth bleeds how I bleed. If they can do it, why can't I do it? No matter if they're 6'6", whatever they are. They bleed how I bleed. So I'm going to go ahead and go to war with whoever I need to go to war to. It's awesome, man. Let's start with the Battle of the Royal. So my junior year, lost it. Lost it 7-3. I threw 2 picks, played horrible. I always say I lost again. And obviously now I learned a lesson from the game. But it was a terrible feeling to lose that game. Because Sam Hill, they viewed it as a Super Bowl, and so they won it. They got me my junior year. But then my senior year, we decided to put on the biggest Battle of the Royal defeat in history and beat them 54-0. And we decided to not let that loss affect the next year. Exactly when you start listening to what I'm saying, you'll understand my mindset now. We ended up now giving them the biggest defeat in history. So they had to eat that one. And that was good to go out on that feeling. And Burbo is amazing, man, because it's Harlingen. It's community. It's love, it's play against kids you grew up with since we were little playing in Pee Wee. And my junior, senior year, we were supposed to lose because they had a bunch of good players, man. Sean Montemayor, Nick Garcia, Jaden Taylor. Ballers. They were ballers since they were young. And they carried that tradition of South, man, and they were great. But sorry, fellas, y'all couldn't get us, man. We were Harlingen, and we knew that, in a sense, we weren't going to look up to South. Come on now. We were never going to accept defeat from South. and talking in a respectful manner. But come on, man, we're the Harlingen Cardinals now. Come on, we gonna look up like we gonna accept defeat to y'all. Come on now. And so we had to do that to him for the one time, and we won again those games. Both sold out crowds and amazing experience. It's legendary, man. I think it's the best tradition in the Rio Grande Valley, and it's so many legends have played there. Manny Gomez, Leo Agus, Johnny Jackson. The list goes on and on. I mean, the players I can name are endless that haven't mentioned, and no disrespect to any players I haven't mentioned, but the list goes on and on. And all those guys have set the foundation for what this school is today. And I said at Harlingen, we expect nothing but to be the best team in the Rio Grande Valley. And I understand, falling off a little bit the past couple of years, but Gomez is getting those boys right, and they're going to be ready to go to war this year. Tell you what, that kid is fearless, man. That kid is fearless, and he plays like he fears no one. And I love that about that kid, man. He was, Hyman was the real deal, and he's tearing it up in baseball now. Yeah. And that's the thing. The kid is a natural-born leader. Doesn't say much, but you can feel him when he walks into the room. Doesn't fear anything. That's what I love about that kid. Real short and simple, man. Thank God, number one. And I thank my family. Now, family doesn't have to be blood. What I mean by family is whether you're blood or not, throughout my whole career, you never once doubted me. Now, if you don't fall between those lines, I'm sorry, but you're not family to me. Throughout my whole career, blood or not, I thank the people that never doubted me and that always believed in me no matter how little I was at any point in time in my life. I thank those people.